from a lead source perspective, when I got started, I mean, I was ready to just do whatever I needed to do to make more deals happen. So tons of lead generation, like Google pay-per-click. You search Wichita houses for sale, click on an ad, go to my website, and I get your info. And that's how it starts. Or like Facebook ads. I've done tons of those. I've probably spent $50,000 to $75,000 on ad platforms, just running ads so I can call people. Where I see the business going, and I mean, I'm only in it for 3.5 years, but where I see the business going is maybe a little different direction. That's why I'm doing a lot more digital marketing things today and trying to grow the social media and whatnot.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the New Agent Jumpstart podcast for episode number 7. I'm absolutely stoked. I've been looking forward to this interview because I have Caleb Claussen from Reece Nichols here in Wichita. You're in a different brokerage. You're not even in my brokerage.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool.
Cross enemy lines.
Yeah, cross enemy lines. Yep. No, only thing I ask for is you just share all your knowledge so I can steal it. That's
for
about
sure.
it.
Yeah.
So, but no, I got to know Caleb because he is killing it right now. You've been licensed for what?
3.5 years. Yeah.
3.5 years. Yeah. February of 21. So yeah, 3.5 years. And just from what I've been able to gather from the MLS alone in the last 12 months, now this is not including for sale by owner, so I apologize, but like 45 units, basically 12 million in volume.
Yeah.
So
I actually didn't realize it was that much.
You're killing it, dude. So that's awesome. And
Appreciate
then,
it, yeah.
I saw you're doing that kind of volume. And what really caught my eye about you is just you're all over social media. I mean, you're doing videos now, you're doing interviews with business owners, everything like that. So I had to get you in here and see what you're doing from a digital marketing standpoint and just, see what you got to say about that.
Sure, yeah. No, I appreciate it. That's a good intro. I love that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, thanks again for coming in. What even got you started in real estate? I mean, you got to be nuts to do this job.
Yeah, for sure. I'm learning that. Yeah. I got started in real estate, actually. I was an engineer at Coke.
Okay.
Big business here locally. I was leading a team of engineers in the oil and gas refining business, designing equipment, managing projects, that sort of thing. The goal was always to do something more entrepreneurial. I went to school to be an engineer because, I don't know. That was the thing that best fitted me at the time. I liked math. I liked all that stuff. You can make a decent living as an engineer. So I was like, I'll do this in the meantime until I figure out what I really want to do entrepreneurially. I was buying rental property while I was an engineer, like fixing them up, renting them out. And that was my initial escape plan from the corporate life.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going fast enough. So I already loved real estate from an investment standpoint. I just didn't know much about the sales side of things. So eventually I got licensed, had a conversation with my realtor, and I was like, can you make a living doing this? And turns out you can. And so had a conversation with him late one night, and that same night I enrolled in some online course to get rolling for your licensing and whatnot. 2 weeks later, I had my license. Then within 6 months, I was making more selling houses than I was leading a team of engineers, so took the jump.
That's awesome.
Decided to do it full time.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of at your volume for what we get paid around here. I mean, you're a $300,000 agent, and
Gross.
Yeah. Gross.
You're talking about all that digital marketing that comes from the cost.
Yeah, it does get gross when you start taking out taxes and everything like that and business expenses. But still, I mean, for our area, I mean, that's a great living. And I mean, for those that don't know what the Wichita market's like, I mean, we don't have, I mean, we do have some $1 million homes, but for the most part, that's not our price point.
No.
I mean,
definitely not me. I've never sold $1 million home.
No, I mean, you're probably averaging around 260, 265 at that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I am now. And it's come up quite a bit.
And I mean, but our average around here, it hovers anywhere between 225 and 250. So, you're right, just a little bit ahead of the market as far as price point, but you're making up for it in units. And so you're not, a California or Florida agent that sells 2 or 3 a year and you're making $500,000.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. But you're in the trenches and you actually know what's going on in the market, and that's why I definitely wanted to get you in here and see just exactly what you're doing. So I know you're really into digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Why digital marketing? And is that really where you're trying to take your business to, for the most part, from a lead source, or what?
Yeah, from a lead source perspective, when I got started, I mean, I was ready to just do whatever I needed to do to make more deals happen. So tons of lead generation, like Google pay per click. You search Wichita houses for sale, click on an ad, go to my website, and I get your info. And that's how it starts. Or like Facebook ads. I've done tons of those. I've probably spent $50,000 to $75,000 on ad platforms, just running ads so I can call people.
Yeah.
So that has been where I've done a ton of business, and I call that like forced business. Like I can pay money, run ad campaigns, get lists of people, and brute force business to happen by talking to so many folks.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really just a numbers thing, and being good conversationally and talking with folks. Where I see the business going, and I mean I'm only in it for 3.5 years, but where I see the business going is maybe a little different direction. That's why I'm doing a lot more digital marketing things today and trying to grow the social media and whatnot.
So where do you see it going? What's your focus right now?
My focus is on putting more and more video content out there, providing like value, like we were talking about before we were recording, like giving free value to people so that when they think about real estate, they think about Caleb, and they can feel like they've gotten to know me through the value they've received. Because a lot of people, I mean, there's 2,500 agents in Wichita.
Mm-hmm.
There's less houses for sale than that.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Like a lot less. And the problem is traditionally people just use whoever they know to help them buy a house or sell a house. Like my cousin sells real estate, so I guess I'll just hit them up.
Yep.
And they don't do much research into their credentials. Maybe they never even sold a house before. And so I think that's going to change more and more, especially with, the landscape of how things are now and where, the different lawsuits and NAR stuff is going. It's going to matter more and more who someone hires, especially if there's more transparency around what they're being paid, all that stuff. Anyway, that was a long answer to say it's going to matter what you're perceived as and what type of value you provide before they even hire you to represent them.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, and I agree with you because, something that my wife and we always talk about on this channel is I believe real estate is a relationship-based business, right?
Yeah.
And
I agree. I don't think it'll ever not be relationship-based. You always work with someone that you do know, like, and trust. I just think the more transparency there is about how agents are paid and how much they make and things,
yeah,
there might be more consideration that goes into who I hire.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm a buyer. And, the thought has been like, oh, it's not free, but the thought is like, I don't even know how they're paid and it's not costing me anything. So I don't really think about who I hire. But.
Yeah. And that's what, unfortunately, our industry has kind of caused that, because a lot of the conversations before, which is what caused the lawsuit, is, agents were saying, well, the seller pays for my commission and you don't have to pay anything. And so that got us into a world of a mess. But, I do love like the video aspect, because just watching through a lot of your social media, I mean, it's not just, hey, come look at my new listing on 123 Main Street, and that's all you see. It's
Sure.
literally you're out interviewing with business owners.
Yeah.
And you're walking through, well, you're doing a flip home right now. You're walking through and just, you must have a whole media crew or something that's following you around, right? I mean, that's got to cost you thousands of dollars, right?
His name's Carter.
His name's Carter, so you got one guy.
He's a nice, hustling young kid. He cold called me after calling tons of agents, and they all told him, get lost, I have no interest. And I've made thousands of cold calls so far in just the 3.5 years. And so I was like, man, if you're willing to pick up the phone and do that, like, we can make something work. I can teach you what I want. Anyway, so that's how I got Carter. But yeah, now we're doing a lot of just recording what I'm already doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the business highlights and interviewing owners of locally owned businesses.
So what's the main focus of your videos?
So doing like three things now. One is creating like community highlight content, highlighting like local business owners of local small businesses. One, I'm trying to build and put together like a Wichita small business like buying guide. That's not what it's going to be called, but like interview a bunch of good local businesses that we can support as a community. People like that in general. And I want to also position myself as like a community expert, and just showcasing, different businesses in different neighborhoods. Just further position myself as an expert of that area, someone that's connected and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's one piece of it. Another is like educational, and then other is behind the scenes of just what I do on a day-to-day basis.
I've seen a couple of your videos. You're talking about, this is what you need to ask a real estate agent when you go to hire them and everything like that. So I think educating the public is a really good thing to do, and through video format, because that's what's getting everybody's attention now.
Yeah, it's not just attention, but it builds trust.
Yeah.
So like now I'll meet people and they'll be like, "Hey, I saw your videos," and like they're like excited to talk to me because they feel like they already know me, and I don't even know who they are.
That's interesting.
Sometimes, and so that's like doing a lot of the heavy lifting before meeting in person, because I'm not like a really good salesperson. If you think of like traditional like hard sales, I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Not very pushy in that regard, but I'm really good. Like I think I am a really good agent, but I'm just not. I'm not trying to twist anyone's arm to work with me.
Well, and I will make the argument that I think that's probably why you're having the success that you do. Because,
I hope so.
Well, and I could say that from a personal standpoint. It took me 4 years just to start communicating with my database of people that I know, like friends and family and everything, because I didn't want to be salesy, right?
Yeah.
And then I learned a process from Brian Buffini. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he came out with Referral Maker Pro and CRM and all that kind of stuff. But he's all about, they come from an Irish background, from Ireland, and he came over here. But he is all about building the relationship and, just providing value. And that is what is going to get you the success, because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're really setting yourself up to not be the slimy salesperson, which attracts the business.
Yeah.
So I think you're going about it exactly the right way.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Because it's not always like, send out a video and it hits and I get a call, hey, come list my house. It's not like that.
Yeah. So tell me.
It's incremental for sure.
Yeah. Tell me the process. Like how long ago did you get started with that? Like where do you post to? How often? What are you shooting for?
Yeah. I'll start by saying that I'll just humbly say I'm not the authority on organic like video and social media platforms and stuff. I'm really good at running targeted paid advertising for my listings and my offers and my stuff. But I've started, like, I'm not the expert yet, but I hope to be soon. But I've started doing a lot more social posts and videos, and I've tried lots of different things. And it's probably been a year and a half since I've really tried to do that. And now I feel like I'm actually starting to get in a groove. But before that, like I was saying, I've done tons of targeted video advertising to generate leads and to market my listings, and that's generated a lot of business.
Okay, so what kind of videos are you putting out there, and what platforms are you using for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so the platforms I'm using is all of them. I just use a software that sends it out to all of the different sites like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Google. Like on your Google My Business, you can put videos on there. So it just syndicates it to all those. And then as far as like actually advertising, I just use the videos that I create, and then you can run ads behind them. The videos that do good organically end up being good as ads. So just use the organic videos that got more engagement, more viewership, whatever, and run those as paid ads, and they do good.
Okay, so you're creating videos, you're running them organically, and then basically you're seeing which ones have the best metrics, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you're just taking those and running paid ads. And then are you setting up demographics on your ads to hit a specific niche, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I can get super nerdy technical engineer. I'm a recovering engineer, but Really, I think my main advantage is for like my listings. We do like an engaging video tour, which I have a specific way I like to do them that I think is more engaging than most people's video tours. So I post those organically, but then I'll also run ads against them. But I don't just like, people think you can just like boost a Facebook post, which you should just light your money on fire, be better spent. What you really want to do is like target with your ads.
Okay.
And in the housing category, you can't target very much because fair housing problems.
Yeah, they've changed a lot.
Yeah, so you cannot like just target a very specific demographic. You can target if you have a list of specific people that you want to see your ad that you import into some of these advertising platforms.
Okay.
And so where I get that list is I've got a good website, an IDX website. People search for houses. I've got some content on there they can consume. I do tons of, I pay for a lot of PPC ads. So that's just like Google. They go on and Google Wichita house for sale. And then they see Caleb Claussen, blah, blah, blah. They click on it. They go search for houses and they register. So once they get on my site, they get added into my list of people that I now know they're looking for houses around Wichita. And so I want them to see me everywhere now. And so the second that they land on my website, they get added to this list. It's called a custom audience or retargeting audience. And that's who I pay to put my ads in front of. And I've run it for all my listings. I've got two campaigns basically. One is I run the exact ad to just a 15-mile radius of the listing.
Okay.
And that'd be like a cold audience. And then I run a ad set, the exact same ad, just to my list of people that have gone to my website looking for specific house. Wichita house for sale, Goddard house for sale, house with a pool, house with acreage, blah, blah, blah. And I've got tens of thousands of people in there now after spending a lot of money to build that list. But if you look at the metrics of the click-through rate on those ads versus just the cold one, it's like 7 times. It's like six to 700% of like people who see it that click on it and go see the landing page I created for it, schedule showings and all of that. So that's like the secret weapon on the listing videos that does a lot better because I'm marketing to a starving crowd, you know.
So we make a video of a new listing. We run 2 different ads. Probably in the beginning it was one ad until you started building up your database through your IDX website, right? And so then you're running that, you're getting people to click on that. Those people are basically raising their hand saying, yeah, we're at least interested enough to click on the ad and check out this house.
Because the cool thing with Google is they're searching by a specific term.
Okay.
You know, like they put in Google Wichita house for sale or house with acreage for sale or Goddard house for sale or Eastboro house for sale, whatever. So there's a lot more intent versus like a Facebook ad. It's just like an interruption.
Shows up in their news feed.
Just an interruption style ad. They see a pretty house, they just want to see the pictures. They don't have any interest in buying a house. They just registered and give you their info.
So you finding better leads off of something like Google then?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Yeah, because I know when I got started on a team, I was the buyer's agent, and I mean I don't know what percentage they were doing, but they were doing both Google and Facebook. I've never personally done Google, but I've tried Facebook outside the team, you know, since I've gone out on my own, and I didn't have near the quality, I believe, of lead that I used to have on the team.
Yeah, the problem is no one goes on Facebook to buy a house, and so versus when they literally type into Google what they're looking for and then they go to the website and register, there's real intent. They're either buying a house or someone they know is, and they're looking for them. So
gotcha. That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
That's also why the cost per lead, like Facebook, I can get a lead for like $1, you know, but I can get 100 leads, and one of them is maybe a deal after tons of calling and follow up with 100 people. It's like sifting through the junk, versus like Google, you know, if you like looked up all these people and saw what percentage of them ended up buying a house, it's kind of like makes you sick to your stomach because a lot of them did.
Okay.
And they just didn't do it with you.
So you mentioned earlier that if I was to boost an ad on Facebook, I'm basically lighting my money on fire.
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Because that's what I was talking about with the cold audience. You're just paying to have random people see your ad.
Okay.
Totally random on Facebook. So the people that I target with my ads on Facebook already went to my website, told me exactly what they're looking for, and now they said, hey, I want to buy a house. Okay, here's houses all the time from just Caleb. And so when they think real estate, they think Caleb.
Gotcha. So it's literally establishing somebody or yourself top of mind, because once they've come to your website and they've raised their hand, now you're just in front of them everywhere they are on
100%.
On all the platforms.
The second they land on my site or consume enough of my content, they will see me forever until I stop paying to make them see me.
Absolutely. So you're basically putting yourself out in front of them where they already are. And then now you're still doing that, but now you're coming more into more organic stuff with videos now. So kind of explain to the audience kind of what you're doing now as far as, it's not paid. It's more you want to build organic leads and everything like that.
Yeah. So now I'm just trying to build more social credibility. So like getting just more followers, because everyone's looking up their agent, I think, on different places and seeing how legit they are. And so if they can go on and see you have all this content about real estate and otherwise, like it's just social proof, I think that builds a huge case for you as an agent versus someone that has no social presence.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming more and more of an important factor. And it will become more and more important, I think.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's definitely where the industry's going. And if you look at the ones that are doing high amounts of volume now, they are the ones that have kind of established themselves on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort for sure. And it's not free. I mean, I pay a guy to follow me around with the camera and edit video and,
so he's doing all your editing, and is he the one posting for you, or are you posting?
I'm still posting because I'm kind of in the weeds. Like, I have a hard time just letting, like, done for you content is also a waste of money. Like, people posting like templated stuff, like off Canva, and pictures and like templated pictures where you're just changing stuff. Doesn't do anything as far as I can tell. But like the video, like, with actually me in it, me talking, me, telling a story, me doing whatever, is a lot more engaging, goes a lot further to build trust. But yeah, so I'm super in the weeds, and so I kind of work hand in hand with him. But I can't hold the camera and talk at the same time.
Somebody's got to be the pretty face.
Yeah, right.
What kind of content from the organic side are you seeing the most engagement with?
Definitely the community showcase stuff I'm starting to do a lot more of. So interviewing local business owners who own small businesses, talking about their start and their business and what makes them unique, how we can support them. And so I'm working on creating more of a collection of stuff like that so that I can, just help people support more local businesses that maybe they didn't know existed.
Yeah. I noticed your latest ones are, here in Wichita. We got a cool little area called College Hill, and it's just east of downtown. Really cool little area, right?
Yeah.
Got some amazing homes, and then the businesses are kind of they're mom and pop shop, coffee shops and everything like that. And so is that kind of your focus area, or are you looking to, go out in the suburbs and just do different ones, different targeted areas, or you're just kind of all over the place?
The kind of the plan is to cover an area at a time, and so do a lot of content around College Hill, for example. Just like locations that are the most interesting, I would say.
Yeah.
Have a lot of things to do, businesses, shops, restaurants, things to talk about. So it's easy to highlight those areas because they do already get a lot of attention, and then also talking about the real estate side of things. But yeah, that type of content is getting a lot more traction than, like, there's a lot of realtors just, here is what a home inspection is and blah, blah, blah. And I've tried that. I've put out hundreds of videos like that But education without like a narrative or, something that's entertaining about it doesn't get watched.
Yeah.
So, gotta mix in some education with a little bit of entertainment.
Well,
it's like giving free value, and then they'll listen to you.
Well, and I saw an interview. I couldn't even tell you who the guy was, but he was talking about, look at Red Bull, right? Red Bull is all about video, but is Red Bull, what do they got on their videos? Is it their product or is it entertainment? And it's all entertainment. I mean, it's their skydiving and airplanes and all this stuff, but everybody knows Red Bull because of the entertainment value. So I think that's a really good way to go about it.
Yeah. So. And it just makes you more known. Like when I first got licensed, I was still working as an engineer, and I kind of wanted to be a secret agent while, it was just like, it's double-sided. So like I didn't want everyone at my day job to know I was an agent, because I was managing a team of engineers at the time. Like, it's just a bad look. They think maybe I'm planning on leaving, or what's going on, what's going on. And so that's why I did a lot of the lead gen, because I could just work those kind of in the shadows. But now I don't want to be a secret agent anymore. Like everyone, I want to know, I already think I'm a good agent, and I just need more people to work with. And so now I'm in the process of making known, hopefully.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you're doing these videos for business owners and everything and highlighting their businesses. Mm-hmm. So walk me through, what does that even look like? Like, what does that conversation even look like? How do you reach out to these people?
A lot of times it's just me or Carter will go in, say, hey, is the owner here? And they'll be like, why? What do you want with them? And we'll be like, oh, we showcase local businesses, make a quick little social media post. We have a quick interview showing off the business, and can show them an example of one we've done, and it looks really professional and well produced, and so it creates publicity for them. I get to show off a cool local business. People get to meet the owner of a local small business, which everyone thinks is a cool thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's really not a hard sell. Most of them are like, yeah, let's do it. And especially after we see the video. And now they're starting to say, yeah, I've seen your video of that you did with, so-and-so. And so then it's just like, yeah, let's do it. And it's free. So like, we don't charge them. I mean, I pay my videographer to work with me, and we put it all together and we post it and let them collab on it. So we both get to benefit.
So how much does a video like that cost you to put together with Carter?
I don't know, less than a couple $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, because it's getting you social media content anyway.
If we're really efficient, like maybe $100.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And how long does it take to shoot one of those videos?
Not long. Most of the time is just having Carter go early and get B-roll shots of the outside, the inside, some action shots of them, maybe so coffee shop, them pouring some coffee, making some drinks, doing little things here and there, so that we can do a B-roll during the video. And then the interview, we just get like a super candid 5-minute interview. I'll ask him some questions, have a super low-key conversation, and then we'll chop it down into 1 minute of just kind of like the highlights, make it conversational. So it takes like 5 minutes of a business owner's time, and then they get this really cool, well-produced short-form video.
That's cool. And you guys just share that with them so they can put on their platforms and everything as well?
Ideally, I just post it and have them collab on it.
Okay.
Like on Instagram. That way we both show up. It says, when it gets posted, it'll say Caleb Claussen and blank. Okay. And so it's like cross-posted on both of our platforms. And then we both get to work, like my audience gets exposed to them more, and then and vice versa.
Their audience sees you. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because if you were just give them the video, they post it on their platform alone, then, I mean, they're going to hear about you.
They will see me. They'll see me and they'll hear about me, and I'm cool with that. I don't care.
But no, I like this way a lot better, because then you're literally tagged or whatever in the video itself. So you're going to see all that engagement.
Exactly.
And everything.
Yeah. So then they go check out my page, and they see other businesses we've showcased, and they see what else I got going on, and maybe they start following me. And then if they consume enough of my content, then I start retargeting them with
with the ads that we talked about,
my videos
earlier.
And whatnot.
Yeah. Because then because you could set up retargeting ads through Facebook and all that kind of stuff, where anybody that's gone to your website or whatever, and then
just watched a video. They watched 100% of this video I put out. They must have some interest in what I'm doing. I'm going to give them more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can even dial it down into the demographics of how much video content they've actually consumed.
Yeah, there's a million ways you can decide to retarget them. If they liked my page, okay, now they're going to see me. If they watched 25% of a video, they're going to see me. If they've watched this video, and specifically not this video, you can set up all these different things. It's just like, how specific do you want to be?
So did you learn all that and you're doing that all yourself, or do you got? Well, no, you said Carter only does the video production. You're doing all the posting yourself.
No, I'm a big digital marketing junkie, and I just like nerding out on that stuff. So I've learned a lot. I've paid for a lot of like courses, and I mean, you can learn a lot of it on YouTube.
Yeah,
if you know how to search and what you're looking for. I mean, I've spent maybe not six figures, but multiple five figures, over 50,000 for sure, in just the last couple of years, learning how to do digital marketing and running ads and doing blah blah blah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there because I know the audience that I'm in front of, new agent jumpstart. So these are newer agents. So if you were brand new and you didn't have $50,000 to dump in video over the course of the last couple of years.
It was bootstrapped. It was like, I close a sale, I do some more stuff, I close more sales, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so how would you recommend somebody that's watching this now, that's brand new, just got into real estate, what would you tell them to do?
Well, you can create content for free with your phone. And there's, 11-year-olds making videos on YouTube that get millions of views and will make more money than I ever will if it's entertaining enough. So, like, that's free. Do a bunch of that, learn how to master that side of things, which is, like I said, where I'm trying to actually take my business is more organic. People reaching out to me versus the other way around. If you want to get into the weeds of all these digital marketing strategies, like go sell some stuff and then start playing around with some ads. You don't have to do that to sell homes. Like, just go be a good agent first, sell some stuff. And then you can play around with the stuff. But I use it to sell my listings more effectively. And I use it to showcase my listings to people so they see how I market. And they just see me all the time. And so they're like, oh, your marketing's really good. I see it all the time. I'm like, I know. I know you do.
That's awesome. So really, I'm a big proponent of start free.
Yeah. There's people... I follow people that sold more than I have and haven't paid a dime. Just posting organic, social, whatever. This is just the avenue I like, and I've gone down and it's worked out for me.
Yeah. So is this kind of your main thing that you're wanting to do going forward, is the digital marketing? That's where you want your number one source of business to come from? Or are there any other lead sources that you're playing around with in order to create business?
So like organic, social, and then that's all combined with the digital marketing stuff. Mm-hmm. So yes, that I get, past clients and referrals and stuff. I work my database a little bit by just like email and stuff like that, but I don't do open houses.
No open houses.
Yeah, I actually don't believe in open houses.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I'm like anti-open house.
Talk to me about that. Because I've made a killing off of open houses.
So, one, I got 2 kids, 3, and here in 6 weeks.
Congrats.
Thanks. And I just don't want to sit there on Sunday afternoon. They don't sell the house that you're sitting. I mean, NAR has all the stats. You can see less than 2% of houses sell from an open house for that house. The only point is to get unrepresented. The only people that show up are unrepresented buyers, nosy neighbors. And it's cheaper than going to the movies. So, like, let's go look at a house. Like, those are the people who show up. And that's fine for agents because, cool, they're not going to buy this house, but I'm going to make them buy a house with me later on.
Yeah.
And so it's just for agents to get more business to go sell them another house. And so I tell my sellers that. I say, I don't do open houses, and here's why. Because it does not work. You'd much rather me, I promise, spend my time and money and effort into the digital marketing stuff, because 97% of people who bought a house found that house online.
Okay.
So that's where we need to put all our money, time, and effort. And I'm being very honest and telling you that it's not going to sell your home if we have an open house where it's 2% chance. Let's focus on the 97. And I can get business from other sources. So why do I need to sit for 2 hours in an open house every Sunday? And it's more than 2 hours invested. It's probably
closer to 4.
3 or 4 when you're done with doing stuff. And if you're actually going to do it effectively to where it actually helps the listing, you got to invest way more time and money because you can do stuff to make open houses effective.
Yeah.
Like I could door knock the whole neighborhood. I could run an ad campaign to my whole database and do all this stuff. And I could spend a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. So I could make it effective, but I'm not into it. And I
guess it's just, and something my wife and I, we talk about, and we've talked about it on this podcast is you could do everything works and nothing doesn't, right? So if I don't do anything, then I'm not going to get anything. But everything out there, from door knocking to flyers to everything, they all work, right?
In the right quantity.
But there's some things that are more time efficient than others. Like me, I did not want to go door knocking. I hate door knocking. For one, I hate getting dressed up kind of decent and then going out there and it's 100 and whatever degrees and I'm sweating like crazy going up, oh, do you want to sell your house? I hated that. I would much rather sit in the office and dial through 100 calls, especially using a 3-line dialer or something, and make 20 contacts in an hour and a half than, talk to 5 or 6 homeowners because there's no guarantee they're even home. Yeah. And then the ones that are, you're bothering them at their house. And so I hated that. From an open house standpoint, I can see from if you're the typical agent, you just put a few signs out. Yes, it's a complete waste of time. I also believe that you can take digital marketing and really market the property. Like we don't do an open house unless we're marketing it for seven days, right? So we want 7 days of marketing. We're calling around the neighborhood on that 3-line dialer, circle prospecting. I'm not door knocking because like I just said, I don't like door knocking, but I will call the neighborhood and tell everybody about that. And I know that they're not looking to move into their neighbor's home, but maybe they know somebody that's looking to move.
Exactly. And that's an easy thing to tell them. It's just like, hey, sorry to bother you. Like, I just wanted to invite you to my open house. And I know you're probably not going to buy a house in your own neighborhood, but you want to pick your new neighbors?
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, yeah, well, maybe we can make it, blah, blah, blah.
And I will agree with you. I mean, the majority of the time, statistically, it's smaller now than what it was because it was only 4%, a couple of years ago that you would sell the open house at the actual open house or sell the house at the open house. And so I know statistically I am looking for my next client, right?
Yeah, that's the only real incentive for an agent to do one.
Besides
their sellers like, oh, you're not doing anything to market this home. And I'm like, okay, I'll do an open house.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like the perception of activity.
It appeases the seller.
Yeah.
Right? It makes them happy. And it doesn't have to be you. It could be another agent, that's in your office. So that's the thing that I love is I can make a seller happy and have another agent in my office. That's how I got started. When I went out on my own, I left a team. Yeah. I had a mentor. She had 2 or 3 listings at the time, and I just started doing open houses for her. But I did them to get business for me. Yeah. Not to sell her listing.
But man, so few people even come nowadays. Because why? Like
everything's online and they're seeing everything. Yeah, especially.
Why would I do that? And I can. No, I think maybe it'll become more of a thing with this whole lawsuit stuff. But open houses might get popular again. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, real estate, it goes in cycles. So, 2 years ago when everything was hot and heavy and you could put a house on the market and in 24 hours you had 20 offers. I mean, there wasn't a single open house going on.
The only reason you would advertise an open house is just to motivate people to make you some crazy offer before.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you'd cancel it.
And at the same time, expireds were way down. Like a home never really expired, in 2021 and early 2022.
I only had one house expire and it was, is my worst listing. So.
But I feel like with the market that's shifting, we're going to get back into the expired and canceled market. 100%. And so that's going to be a market of the moment type thing, right? Where that's now going to be a different business. So I want to talk about real quick Do you have any specific examples that you can point to where your digital marketing campaign or whatever actually got you business?
Yeah, I mean, I just got a listing last week of someone that I've been retargeting with listing videos, and they say, "Hey, I saw your marketing," and they interview me. They bring me over, and I look at the house, and I give them my whole spiel, and they're like, "Oh, I've actually already looked through all your stuff." And I was like, "Oh, you just let me explain all this." but yeah, so it does. It does. I mean, it warms people up, and they can see exactly what I'm going to do for them without knowing what I'm doing, and then I explain it. Or they can go on my website and get my seller guide and explains. I got a case study that walks them step by step of really what I'm doing behind the scenes to market their home. It's not just making a video and just my followers see it. Like my listings, I'll post it organically and maybe they'll get like 1,000, 2,000 views. And that's what most agents do. Mm-hmm. But with the paid ads, I mean, I usually get 50 to 100,000 views on a listing.
Dang.
So
that's a big difference.
Yeah. And most of those are from people wanting to buy a house in Wichita. And I can show them literally the 2 ad campaigns, and here's how more effective the one with all of the warm buyers is. And so that's what makes the difference.
So are you having that conversation with the homeowner then that, with me as your agent, this is what I'm going to be doing, and this is why I'm doing that?
100%. Like, that's my value proposition. You hire me because I'm a nerd and I like doing all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And yes, I'm going to help negotiate for you. I'm going to help you get the home ready. I've got contractors and all this stuff, and every agent's going to do that. But if you hire me, I'm going to do all of this digital marketing that actually works.
And it's a hell of a lot easier to negotiate when you got a lot more demand on the listing because you've marketed it properly and you've exposed a lot more people to that.
I like to be able to confidently tell them without like feeling with a clear conscience that if it doesn't sell, it's not a marketing problem. Whereas if I was an agent that just throws it on the MLS and we sit around and see what happens, I don't know if it's a marketing problem. It might be because, I mean, if Zillow hasn't sold it for me, then what else are we going to do?
Yeah. So if it's not a marketing problem, then what's the conversation look like?
I tell them, with me, there's 3 things that make a house not sell. It's the marketing, like the exposure, the price, or the condition. But price and condition are truly hand in hand because people will pay any price, or people will pay a low price for a bad condition home.
I can sell anything at the right price.
Yeah, I can sell anything at the right price. And so then it's just, have I exposed it enough? So it's marketing and price. So if I can narrow down the variables of, it ain't going to be a marketing problem, I can assure you, it'll just be the price. We can feel confident. Everyone knows about this thing, and no one wants it at this price. So we can make an educated decision to lower the price.
And do you have like a certain time frame before you start having that conversation about making a price adjustment?
I tell them up front of, the market changes all the time. Mm-hmm. So like right now, it's quite a bit slower. There's quite a bit sitting on the market. You're seeing price reductions, higher inventory than we've had in, I don't know,
3 years?
Yeah, a while.
Yeah.
And so it's dependent on what's going on then. So, a couple months ago, I would tell them like, hey, if it's been 7 days and we're not getting showings for one, then we're definitely overpriced. If we're getting showings and feedback isn't good, then maybe we're a little overpriced. If we're getting lots of showing, lots of feedback, it's just like maybe we're just waiting for the right buyer. So trying to gauge it. But then it was like 7 days, and now it's like realistically it might take 2 or 3 weeks.
So I don't think we're quite back at like the market was when I was hot and heavy and expires and everything in 2015, 2016. But back then, my conversation at the listing table or at the listing appointment at the table was, look, we're going to go 3 weeks. So every 21 days, if we don't have an offer by then we're going to, the conversation on day 21 is going to be price, right? And I do that, like we got $1 million, $1.1 million listing. And that price point around Wichita is a little slower.
Yeah, you play it by the price range.
Exactly. So we just hit 3 weeks, and I set that expectation up front, right? And so at that 3 week, that weekly check-in, he goes, "You're calling about price, aren't you?" Yep, because we've already had the conversation, and we adjusted the price, and now we got 2 more showings this week, and then one of those are turned into a second showing for this weekend. So, very happy with that. But I also set that expectation up front. But you're right. A year ago or something like that, hey, if we don't have anything in 7 days,
if we went a weekend and we didn't blow up, like
we missed it.
Something's wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to just cancel the listing and re-enter it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, I'm just so thrilled about the conversation we've been able to have. I know I've learned a lot. Especially, it kind of goes back to, my wife and I, we used to have a maternity clothing online store and everything. So the retargeting ads, that brought back old memories. But that's absolutely, I don't know why I didn't think about doing that in real estate. So that just opened up a whole new world for me.
Yeah.
And everything. So I appreciate bringing that up.
For sure. Thanks.
Is there anything that you want to just real quickly, say before we hop off of this? Any last words that you want to send out to the new agents or seasoned agents that are struggling to get to that 100,000 mark?
You said it earlier, is like anything works if you work it, like in the right quantity, anything works. So maybe you're not into digital marketing. Maybe you're just really relational, good at meeting people, staying in touch with them. Cool. I'm not. So like I want to systematize things, and I'm all about like scale. What can I do at a push of a button and scale things? And so that doesn't have to be you, but anything works.
And nothing doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to like actually do something.
Yeah. And I would, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I would not do any more than probably 3 different things. So I would have 3 different lead sources that I would focus on.
That's a good tip.
And then
I'm still learning that.
Yeah, because you could spread yourself really thin, right? And so, like for our business in particular, we are really good at database. We nail database.
Yeah, I want to get really good at database. Now having closed enough deals to where that can start to really produce something.
Oh, you're there. Yeah, you should be, if you're not systematically, and it's a system, right? Systematically communicating with your database, you're missing out on, gosh, how many people do you think you've closed deals on in the last 3 years?
Over 120. So
you should be getting 10% each and every year in repeat and referral business from just your database if you work the 33 touch that's in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. So
yeah,
you should be looking at another 12 to 15 transactions a year, which is
I still get some. I don't know if I get that many, but yeah.
But that's where it should be. We're doing better than that. But we don't have a huge database either. We only have about 280 people in our database.
Oh, wow.
Because people move out of the area. There's some people, have you ever worked with anybody like, I don't want to work with you again? Mm-hmm. Those people get the boot, right? So, you're just constantly feeding your database with new people, and you got a big database, right? So if you got a system in place, then that would take your business to a whole nother level. And I'd be excited to see what that looks like for you. But yeah, we do database well, we call expireds, cancels real well, and then we do open houses. And I know you're completely against it, but those are our 3 key pieces of business. And we'll do pretty good. We'll probably hit 400 this year. But we also have a life now too. When we used to be all about work and everything. So the repeat and referral business is really good. And then if you ever want to build a team, then you could start handing off some of those to team members and start taking the cut and everything like that. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what happens with you and your business in the next 3 years now that you've kind of got this dialed in. So I really appreciate you coming in. If people want to reach out to you and just because they have questions about digital marketing and, hey, what are you doing here? Are they able to give you a call, or how can they reach you?
Yeah, I would say call me.
Call you?
That'd be probably the best way to get a hold of me.
What's a good number?
My main cell is 316-259-1995.
Okay.
You can hit me up there.
And I will definitely put that in the show notes below and everything. And reach out to Caleb. Right now, you're not charging for the information, so that's kind of cool.
I just like talking about marketing right now. So if I can help, you can learn everything online for free. It's just, how fast are you going to do it?
Yeah. So
I do believe in paying for education, but you might not have money to pay for in the beginning. So,
well, yeah, you just need to invest in your business. This whole studio I didn't 4 years ago. I didn't know anything about video and everything, and I paid for a course, and it taught me all about this.
Yeah.
And now we do all this, right?
Yep.
So you never know where it'll go. So definitely investing in your business, investing in your education, number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any questions, please reach out, make comments below. Be happy to answer any questions you guys got. Caleb, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For coming on the show, being the first real estate agent
Awesome,
on the
cool.
New Agent Jumpstart
Glad to
podcast.
be the first.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have more of this in the future. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Peace.